Welcome to Elaine Clark VO Real Talking Tips, where it's all about communication. I'm the author of There's Money Where Your Mouth Is, a complete insider's guide to earning income and building a career in voiceovers, and voiceovers for podcasting, how to develop a career and make a profit. I'm also the creator of 2 Elaine Clark apps, Activate Your Voice, 5-minute exercises to strengthen your speaking voice, and Adding Melody to Your Voice, speech improvement instruction and workout. This first series of micro-learning lessons is 52 weeks, so subscribe and tune in each week to Real Talking Tips for a new communication lesson. Episode 17, How to Be a Sing-Talker. What does it mean to be a sing-talker? To understand it better, let's do a quick recap. So far in Real Talking Tips, we worked on resonators, vowel strengthening, articulation and enunciation, voice improvement exercises using this podcast and my voice and diction app, Activate Your Voice. We discussed how to land the message, talk at a faster or slower pace, and the importance of specific body positions and movements to add attitude and emotion to the voice. Then we explored storytelling, creating a 3D world, and giving verbs action and nouns a location. We then de-emphasized the word and drew focus to the keywords on either side of the and to balance the sentence. You see, your voice and speech pattern equals your unique tune. There's so much that goes into sing-talking and adding melody to your voice. That's why I created the Adding Melody to Your Voice app. But we'll get into the word emphasis techniques in that app and later in the podcast series. For right now, let's tie together the first 16 Real Talking Tips episodes so you can integrate them into your business and everyday speech communication and voiceover performances. Presenting what it takes to be a sing-talker. When you voice or devoice the articulator, it changes the rhythm and melody of the speaking voice. For example, if I say the following statement and leave off the final T in the word that, it sounds like this. That is correct. If I gently tap the final T, the tune changes to this. That is correct. The first time when I drop the T, the mouth movements and sound remain in a more lateral mouth position. The second time when I tap the T, a tiny gap or space was left after that letter because the tongue had to rise to the top of the mouth to hit the T and lower to a more central mouth location on the word is. Each of the articulators also has a corresponding mouth placement, pitch, and sound. Ta, da, high then low. Ka, ga, front then back. Pa, ba, up then down. If I tap the articulators, it sounds like this. Ta, da, ka, ga, pa, ba. Vowels have shape and musicality too. If I open my mouth wide on the word wow, it has a stronger melody than if my mouth position is smaller and barely moves when I say wow. And since I didn't open my mouth much the second time, the final W was given less value. As a result, the voice tune final sound dropped off. Since dropping the final consonant and slurring words is common, the majority of sighted people read lips to fill in the audio dropouts. Not surprisingly, when someone records and listens back to their voice without seeing the visuals, that person may find that their diction is not as clear as they thought. And that tiny word we want to de-emphasize may go to the extreme and get overly truncated and swallowed, so it sounds like rather than and. When someone suggests that you roll the words around in your mouth, it means to use the entire inside mouth area, not just one mouth placement location. In essence, you roll the words around in the mouth so they hit the appropriate front, back, up, down, and center locations. Oh, and don't forget tempo, speed, movement, emotion, location, and attitude. Those crucial voice and speech elements that we also previously worked on dramatically impact the musical speech pattern of the sing-talker. Let's delve more into how speaking tunes can change. Now it's your turn to try these sing-talker tips. Let's experiment with tune and musicality by listening to and saying the following 2 sentences you might have heard at the beginning of most car races. ladies and gentlemen, start your engines. If the vowels are elongated, the tune would sound like this. Ladies and gentlemen, start your engines. If the articulators are tapped, it would sound like this. Ladies and gentlemen, start your engines. If the resonators are buzzed, it would shift to this. Ladies and gentlemen, start your engines. A combination of these sounds would sound more like this. Ladies and gentlemen, start your engines. Each sing-talking tune is different based on the focus and approach to the various types of sounds. When individual sounds drop out, it may sound like this. Ladies and gentlemen, start your engines. Now it's your turn to practice. Record your voice saying the same 5 sing-talk variations at a slow, medium, and fast speed. Listen back to the recordings. Pay attention to hear if any accents or regionalisms in any of the 15 versions you recorded are detectable. Were any of the recordings similar to a speech cadence of someone you know or have seen or heard in the entertainment, sports, news, commercial, or podcast industries? Your sing-talk style is your voice imprint. Become familiar with your voice and how to change, improve, or alter it to fit the situation or expected outcome. I encourage you to keep improving your speech communication by watching, listening, and reading the ElaineClarkVO.com/podcast episode blogs. I'd appreciate it if you take a moment to like, download, share, tweet, pin, ring the bell, or follow this podcast. If you like the podcast, add a positive review or comment too. As part of the Real Talking Tips community, let's work together to improve speech communication. Thanks for joining me on the Real Talking Tips podcast. To find out more, check out my books and apps and visit my website, ElaineClarkVO.com. Let's stay in touch. Become part of the Real Talking Tips community. Hit the subscribe button and use #RealTalkingTips, #ElaineClarkVO. You can also follow me on Twitter at ElaineClarkVO, Instagram ElaineClark.VO, and Facebook Elaine Clark Apps and Books. And don't forget to practice. It's all about communication. Go ahead, click the subscribe button.